said your trading scenarios, which technically I guess these people who are going to be anonymous because I have no idea like who they are. They're just from Bleacher Report, have made up random trade scenarios between teams, and I thought it'd be funny to sort of just look at them and we could just make fun of them. If they're bad, we can agree with them. If they're good, we can talk about them maybe. Yeah, so I thought that'd be kind of funny. So technically I'm not lying in the title because technically these people can see this video if they really are looking for it. So technically it is your trading scenario. So but before that, I think I really want to make a video with you again. So a long time ago, probably close to a year ago, obviously a lot less subscribers, probably a lot less voices, eyes on the channel, and I asked you guys to comment down below your favorite NBA player. Now, that was a year ago. I think I want to do a part 2 of that video. Obviously it being about a year ago, and obviously things can change, and favorite teams can change, favorite players can change. I want to know your favorite NBA player right now. Let me know down in the comments, and then maybe on Monday or Tuesday, probably more Tuesday, I will do a video on it. We can talk about it, discuss it, and I mean, if you comment down below, maybe I'll put some of the people's names and stuff in the video. So obviously if your name is like, if your YouTube name is a first name, last name, I'll block out your last name, or maybe even block out the entire name. If you just have some sort of like random name like Green Bean 123, then I'll put your name in the title because it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool, a little bit more interaction between me and you watching the video. So comment down below on this video your favorite player in the NBA, and I'll make a video on it, talk about it, go over them. You'll be featured on the YouTube video. I think it'd be kind of fun, a little bit of interaction. So yeah, I think that sounds fun. Make sure you like this video too if you do like this video, and also subscribe to the channel. I think we're at like 20 subs or like 10 subs away from 9,000 subs. So again, maybe in my next video I'll do a little bit more of a grand thank you, but I'll just be thanking you now. Thank you. I love you. And let us get started. Alrighty, so like I said, in this video we're going to be discussing, looking at some, I guess, random people's ESPN trade scenarios. Kind of a funny idea, I know. Again, title of this video is yours, but I guess these people could technically find the channel and look at it, so technically it could be your trade scenario if you didn't make this up. But these have been found off of Twitter and Bleacher Report, two different places, so it could be kind of interesting to see what people come up with, and if they're, good trades, bad trades, ludicrous trades. Could be pretty funny to see. Like this trade, for example, definitely a pretty explosive, spicy trade if you ask me, and it's a trade of 3 teams: the Blazers, the 76ers, and the Sacramento Kings. And in this trade scenario, it's the Blazers hitting the big red button and blowing it up, basically. Portland sends Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum with Dennis Smith Jr. to the Philadelphia 76ers in exchange for the Sixers to give up Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and the Blazers also sent Tony Snell to the Sacramento Kings. And then the Blazers receive De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley, Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, and Metu from both teams. So basically, Portland shifts off their stars. Sixers get rid of Ben Simmons and the big contract of Tobias Harris, and Sixers get their guy Damian Lillard, but also in return getting the duo in CJ McCollum, but having a more probably defensive-minded, I guess, team with obviously keeping around Danny Green and all those other guys, yada. But then Portland gets De'Aaron Fox, Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, Buddy Hield. Whoa. obviously with Portland getting, De'Aaron Fox and all these guys seems cool, but it's not like it's a great restart to a rebuild. De'Aaron Fox is a great guard, but man, I don't know if he can get any better than what he is right now. And like the team that would be left in Portland, it's not going to be a great place for him. If quite honestly, it'd probably just be, if anything, just as bad as Sacramento. Obviously, the organization, no offense, is probably a little bit better ran. I don't know, than Sacramento. I have no idea, but then you have Tyrese Maxey there. That's wild. And Thibault. Ooh. This is definitely a very 2K trade. Would this ever happen in real life? 100% not. But is this a bad trade? I don't think so. The Kings get their cornerstone in Ben Simmons. The Sixers get their guy in Damian Lillard and even a more offensive-minded guard in CJ McCollum. And then the Blazers hit the big red button and they get a young, budding all-star in De'Aaron Fox with another great player in Tyrese Maxey. That could be their new backcourt even, really. Then you also have, Buddy Hield, who you can trade and get assets for in return. Marvin Bagley, who knows what his potential could be if he's really tapped into. Not bad. Let me know down in the comments how good this is. This actually doesn't look too bad. Oh, jeez, yeah. And then you get trades like this that are very one-sided, I would say. You could probably tell who's this guy's favorite team is. It's a trade projected of the Portland Trail Blazers, again, sending away CJ McCollum and 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks to the Boston Celtics in exchange for Jaylen Brown. You get also Bruno Fernando and Enes Freedom back in Portland. CJ McCollum for Jaylen Brown. Yikes. Even me, obviously you can see the banner behind me. Pretty big Portland fan. This is the most ludicrous idea I could even think of fathoming happening. No, this is definitely not what the Boston Celtics would do for a trade like this. I mean, I do think CJ McCollum can play point guard. I think he really should play point guard. If he does get traded to a new team, I think him playing point guard would be the best for everyone in a scenario. He is a 6'3" guard with amazing handles and can shoot the ball like crazy, but his craftiness, his skill with the ball is also amazing, like his ball handling skills. We've all seen him cross over a bunch of different players in the NBA. Very underrated. I think he could play point guard very well, so I guess you could move him at point and then have Jason Tatum there, but I just don't think that's really the move they'd want to make. They would want to make either like a superstar trade type of move, a la, obviously if it was like Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard, that's a completely different story, but this is not the sort of category that I think they want back in return for a player like Jaylen Brown, who's already an all-star 20-plus point per game scorer, amazing defender on the perimeter. This is definitely a downer trade. Another trade we have here is one for the Philadelphia 76ers, and this one is actually kind of tied into sort of recent reports of, the Hawks being in contention to get Ben Simmons. And this one is a bad trade. Not gonna lie. It's obviously the Hawks receiving Ben Simmons in exchange for Cam Reddish, a first-round pick, and a plethora of random guys like Lou Will, Gorgie Jang, Bogdanovich, and Timofey Luau. I think is how you pronounce his last name. Kind of a weird jumble of players, not gonna lie. I like the idea of Cam. I also like the idea of Bogdan, but I feel like it would probably have to include maybe like John Collins. It'd probably be like John Collins, Cam Reddish, and a first-round pick, if I'm being completely honest. If how sort of stingy or careful the 76ers have been with this whole Ben Simmons trade talk, I think it'd have to take something bigger like that, like John Collins and a first-round pick and Cam Reddish and maybe even someone else, in my opinion, in order to make that work. I don't think all these players really makes up for that, at least in my opinion. Not a bad, well, this is actually kind of a bad trade, but it's the setup isn't wrong. Obviously, Cam, yes. First round pick, yes. I think again it'd probably have to be throwing like a John Collins type of player because, again, the Sixers don't want a rebuilding type of piece with this Ben Simmons trade. They want someone they can win a title with, and I think with John Collins you can move him to the 4, move Tobias Harris to the 3. That could work, and then you have a new sort of project piece who could be an all-star caliber type of guy with Cam Reddish plus a first round pick and not Iverson, Jarrett Culver, 2 first-round picks. Not bad. And Sam Merrill, whoever that guy is. But 2 first-round picks and a young big in Xavier Tillman. And you also get Kyle Anderson for Julius Randle, who's definitely on a downer so far this season. And man, would that really be something? I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies they'd be a tough outing in the playoffs. That's for sure. Man, I don't think it's really worth it. I mean, New York is trying to build the best possible team because they are waiting for a knight in shining armor to come and sign with the team to sort of have this title opportunity. And trading away an all-star type of player like Julius Randle, even though he is having a downer year, really probably will leave a bad taste in some people's mouths, and maybe will make the team a little less pretty. I guess having again a Julius Randle type of player on the team is amazing, but trading him away because he's having one bad season, I don't think it's really worth it. And even though two first-round picks, that's very valuable, but I just don't think it'd be worth it. I mean, New York is trying to build a team, build a roster, put in a superstar, and go for a title. Trading away Julius Randle is just not a part of that sort of scheme, so nope, I don't think it's work. It'd be amazing for the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh my god. Memphis with Randle and Jaw and Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5. Ooh, that sounds fun. Next trade. Another big time 3-team trade we have here. It's between the Philadelphia 76ers, the Boston Celtics, and the Detroit Pistons. Very interesting. You have here the Philadelphia 76ers receiving Jaylen Brown, Dennis Schroeder, and Kelly Olynyk. That is very nice. I'm not gonna lie, if you're a 76ers fan, that sounds pretty amazing. Then you have the Boston Celtics receiving Ben Simmons and Jeremy Grant. So wow, I guess you'd have Ben Simmons at the point guard position. You'd have Jeremy Grant at the 4, and then Jason Tatum at the 3. Oh my god, that's intense. Then for Detroit, getting the bad hand on the stick, or whatever you want to call it, dealt the bad hand. They only get Jason Richardson, Danny Green, Shake Milton, and Romeo Langford. It does say on the thing, it says they do get first-round picks, probably 2 or 3 first-round picks out of this, but man, they're trading away arguably their best player, Jeremy Grant, for Shake Milton and Danny Green. They do get probably a couple first-round picks out of this, which would be nice. But I feel like you could maybe get some sort of building pieces back. I mean, Shake Milton, that's a good piece. That's not bad at all. But oh my God, the Pistons kind of get fleeced in this trade. Not gonna lie. Now, if you look at the other 2 teams, Philadelphia getting Jaylen Brown, Dennis Schroeder, and Kelly Olynyk. Now, those are 3 really solid pieces. I mean, of course, Jaylen Brown. Imagine him with a dynamic duo of Joel Embiid. Wow. And then you also get a point guard replacement, I guess you could say. Well, not even really, because Tyrese Maxey can still run the show at point because he's playing amazing. Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. Kelly Olynyk, who has had some really good runs in the NBA, coming off the bench as well. That's pretty nice. That's not bad at all. And then for the Celtics, they get more of position. I mean, the shooting guard position because he can play defense. I love that. I like the backcourt of Dame and Norman Powell. That's perfect. It's just the fact that they need a small forward. I don't think Karis LeVert can do that for them. And then getting Sabonis, I mean, also doesn't really help out with the interior defense a lot as well. So doesn't help out Portland's defensive sort of shambles that they're in. I mean, if anything, this is just a really good trade for the Pacers, for the Sixers. I mean, they've already talked about a CJ for Ben Simmons swap straight up, and they've already declined that. They already, pretty much publicly said, hey, this trade happened. They offered it, and we said no. So I don't think that's going to really change anything. So this is kind of a bad trade. But the Pacers, Ben Simmons, that'd be amazing. Okay, I've been scrolling for honestly like I don't know, 10 minutes by myself in complete silence, and I can't find any trades without involving Philadelphia or Portland or the Pacers or it gets the same teams over and over again. So this is the last one. It's very spicy. It's a 4-team trade. So listen up here. We have one this time including the Los Angeles Lakers. That's pretty cool. The Kings, then the Sixers again, and the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks. So that's kind of cool. In this trade, though, the Lakers ship off Russell Westbrook to the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers fans, would you want Philadelphia? I mean, would you want Philadelphia? Would you want, well, I guess, yeah, would you want Philadelphia to be ran by Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid? Is that a good dynamic duo? I have no idea. But they ship him off to Philly. Philly ships off Ben Simmons to New York. Ben Simmons as a Knick. That is spicy. That's exciting. The Kings somehow get involved, getting Alex Burks, RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox, and Matisse Thybulle from both teams of the Knicks and the Sixers. Wow. And then for the Los Angeles Lakers, the Lakers sort of build deep. Instead of having a superstar, they build deep, adding in Buddy Hield, Mitchell Robinson. That's basically in two other guys I've never heard of before, but Mitchell Robinson and Buddy Hield. Wow. I don't know who would play point guard for the team then. Who would play point for the Lakers? Malik Monk, maybe? I have no idea. But I like the idea of them building deep. Well, I mean, with the Russell Westbrook trade to the Sixers, I mean, of course, Ben Simmons not playing at all. It would be a player to have on the team. It's an extra player. It's an extra guy. Would it help or hurt him being on the team? I have no idea. It is a big-time name, and he has been learning to play a lot better, definitely this later in the year than he did at the start of the year. And maybe it would help out the Sixers. I mean, they would still have a big three, and Ben Simmons isn't going to play for the Sixers. Is it better than having no player or having a player? That's the sort of decision. Then the Sixers, the Sixers send off Ben Simmons to the Knicks. The Knicks with Ben Simmons. Oh my God, that will attract some superstars for the Knicks. If they had a playmaker like Ben Simmons, that's a very attractive piece, and that might put them over that hump of, hey, we finally have a team that we can really build around. Plop in a star scorer. That's a title-winning team. And then the Kings somehow get RJ Barrett, which I don't know if that's very fair. That might be a little bit of an overpriced. I don't know if giving up, Buddy Hield is worth, RJ Barrett, at least in my opinion. RJ Barrett still has a lot of potential that he could have in the NBA. He's still barely budding into the player that we're going to see from years and years to come, at least in my opinion. I will say the Knicks trade, I think the Knicks, Andy, this is amazing. I love it. Big thumbs up. If the Knicks could get a player like Ben Simmons, that'd be insane. The Sixers, and I'm not too sure. I don't know how well they could play. I mean, Russell Westbrook kind of plays like a shorter version of Ben Simmons, who plays a way less of a defense. So I don't think that's really a great trade for the Sixers' sake. They would probably have to throw in a couple extra players to go to the Sixers, at least in my opinion. The Kings, don't know why the Kings are even here. Don't know why. They get RJ Barrett. Not very fair. That'd be pretty crazy if they did get that. I mean, a backcourt of RJ and well, even RJ could play the three. Then you have Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. They're starting to look like they're really coming together as a team. And then the Lakers building deep with adding Buddy Hield and a big-time center, Mitchell guys, not gonna lie. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this trade. I'll give it a meh. I'll give it like a meh, a maybe yeah. Not a maybe no, but a maybe yeah. I'm not too keen on that 76ers getting the Russell Westbrook. I don't know if that's really gonna work out. That is gonna be it for me, guys. So if you did like the video, make sure you do like the video. I really like this idea. That it was kind of funny, just looking at random trade thoughts, ideas. Kind of a funny one. And then again, if you want to be in my maybe sort of next talking NBA video, let me know down below your current NBA player and why. You can tell me why if you want, of course, or if not, I could just sort of go over them. But I want to know your favorite NBA player. It could be LeBron James, or it could be Tony Snell. I have no idea. It could be anyone you want for any sort of reason. I think it'd be kind of cool to see all your guys' new favorite players. I mean, even if you've done it before, let me know again. And yeah, I think that's everything. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.